Hello everyone, good morning. Dear student, this is our part 3 of PGDBA 2025. Okay student? So basically student, this is our question number 20. In this question, you can see that there is a matrix that is denoted by MJ whose order is 3 cross 3 where J is belongs from 0 to 24. Then what is the value of this expression? Basically we need to calculate the value of this summation in which determinant of adjoint of Mj. Basically student, first of all you know what is the result behind determinant and adjoint. So result is this one, that basically determinant of adjoint of M, basically it can be written as determinant of Mj to the power n minus 1. You know, this is the result in which there is a relation between adjoint and determinant. So student, in this question, that n, basically you know very well, n is order of matrix, and in this question order of matrix is 3 cross 3. So basically n is 3 over here. So we can say that determinant of adjoint of Mj is basically, it can be written as determinant of Mj to the power 2. So first of all we need to calculate determinant of that matrix Mj, and then after that we are going to take square and then applying summation. Okay, so what is the value of determinant of this matrix Mj? It can be written as, students, basically I'm going to expand this determinant along row first. So one is this one. After left this column and this row, we got 1 into 1 minus 0. You can see 0 into 0. Minus plus is present. So minus 0 times. We don't require to write the value at this place, because 0 multiplied by this one is all 0. Plus this is root 2j plus 1. Expand this row, left out this column and this row, we got minus 1 into 0, that is basically 0, minus, and minus 2 times, sorry, minus root 2j plus 1 into 2 into 1, it will basically becomes plus times root 2j plus 1. So student, in this question you see 1 is 1 into 1 1, this is 0, this multiplied by this one, it will basically become 2j plus 1, and our expression becomes 2j plus 2, and it can be written as 2 times j plus 1. Okay student, this is the value of determinant of that matrix Mj, but we required determinant square. So student, you know Mj whole square, it can be written as 2 square, that is 4, j plus 1 square, it can be written as 4 times j square plus 2 times j plus 1. Okay, so student, and after that we need to apply summation which is from 0 to 24. So student, you know summation, we know very well this value of this expression is this one, and this is equals to this. So it can be written as 4 times j square plus 2j plus 1, and j is basically from 0 to 24. Okay, student, it can be written as 4 times summation j is equals to 0 to 24 and j square, plus 4 is multiplying to 8 times summation j, and j is vary from 0 to 24, plus 4 times summation 1 j is from 0 to 24. Okay student, you need to calculate the value of these summations. So basically you know there is a result is this one, that summation j square, if j is from 0 to 24, it can be written as, okay, 0 to, not a 0 to 24, it is basically 0 to n. So it can be written as, students, n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6. It can be written as this one. In the same way, j is from 0 to 24, it can be written as n into n plus 1 divided by 2. And in the same way, summation j is equals to 0 to n, sorry student, there is n, summation 1, it can be written as students n plus 1, because if you put j is equals to 0 in this expression, you get 1, and from 1 to n you got also 1, so 1 is taking n plus 1 times, so it will become n plus 1. And you know very well, in this expression, in this summation, j is varying from 0 to 24, so basically n is 24 over here. So this expression will becomes 4 times summation j square, the n is 24, put down n is 24, so 24 into 25, 24 into 2, it is basically 24 into 2, 48 plus 1, 49, divided by 6, okay, plus, so you can see 8 times summation j, and summation j is can be written as n into n plus 1 divided by 2. N is over here, you can see student 24, so 24 multiply 25 divided by 2, plus this is j is from 0 to 24 and it is 4 times, so 4 times it will becomes 25, okay. So student, you can see 6 4 ja 24, and 4 into 4, sorry student, this is 4, this is 49, so student 4 into 25, it can be written as 100, multiply 4 into 49, 4 into 49, 4 9 ja 36, 36, that means 3, and 4 into 4 16, 16 plus 3 19, okay, plus 2 4 ja 8. Student, you can see 25 into 4 100, 100 multiply 24, plus this is also 100, it will become student 19600, 2400 and 100. Student, you can see 0 0, 1 plus 4 5, 5 plus 6 11, 2 2 to 4 4 or 4 plus 9, student, I'm calculating again, 1 plus 4 5, 5 plus 6 11, 1 1 1 plus 9 10, 10 plus 2 22, okay, 10 plus 2 12, 1 1 plus 1 2. Student, basically this is the add. So our final answer for this question is 22100. It is basically option C correct, remaining options are incorrect. Student, remember these results, summation j square, summation j and summation constant. In the same way, you need to remember this result, determinant of adjoint of mj. It is basically determinant mj to the power n minus 1. Okay student, so our next question is, that is question 21. Student, in this question, a curve y equal to fx passing through 1 comma 2 has the slope its tangent at x comma fx is 2x by 1, 2x plus 1. Student, basically there is given information that slope of tangent at x comma fx is basically 2x plus 1, and you know very well that is slope of tangent is written as dy by dx, that is 2x plus 1, okay. Then the area bounded by the curve y equal to fx, y equals to 0 and x equals to 1. So basically student, first of all we need to calculate the function or curve y equals to fx, and you know this curve is passing through 1 comma 2, okay. So first of all you need to calculate the value of this expression, taking, student, you know very well, derivative is cancelled out by the integration, so taking out integration on both sides, you got dy by dx, that is 2x plus 1 integration or dx. Student, it will become y and it will become x square, 2 times x square by 2 plus x plus constant c. Student, it is basically x square plus x plus c, and you know given curve is passing through 1 comma 2, so passing point is basically 1 comma 2, so put down y is 2 and x is 1, so 1 square 1 1 and c, it is basically value of c in this expression is 0, Value of c is 0. So student, it will become y as x square plus x. And you know, this is a quadratic, or you can say that this is a curve which is parabolic. And you know, if coefficient of x square is positive, so parabolic is upper facing. Upper facing, that means curve for this expression is basically this one. Okay, and student, this curve is intersect x-axis or not intersect. For intersection x-axis, put down y as 0. For intersecting point on x-axis, put y is equals to 0. So basically, if y is 0, so x square plus x, it will become 0. So x into x plus 1 is, it will become 0. X is 0 and x is minus 1. So student, this curve intersect the x-axis at 2 points is basically minus 1 and 0. So student, let it put down this one. And you know, there are 2 points, that is minus 1 and 0. So let us consider, you know, if this is x is equals to 0, that means that represent y-axis. So this is the curve. Okay, so basically student, this is the curve, and you need to calculate the area bounded by the curve y equal to this one. Y equals to 0, that means student, y equals to 0, that means x-axis. Okay, x equal 1, student, let us consider x equals to 1 is this one. So student, let it put down in this form, that is x equals to 1, and y is equals to 0, that means x-axis. So this is x is equals to 1, this is y is equals to 0, this is our curve y equals to fx. So student, I think you understood what is the area you need to require to calculate. This one, this is the area that is required to calculate. Student, this area above the x-axis, so our basically required area, you can integrate from 0 to 1 and integrate 0 to 1 this curve. And this curve is basically x square plus x. I think you understood. And integration of this one, x cube by 3, x square by 2, and limit of that integration is basically 0 to 1. Put down upper limit, it will become 1 by 3 plus 1 by 2, minus put down lower limit 0 and 0. So it will become 0. After taking LCM, you got 6, this is 2 and this is 3. So basically our final answer is 5 by 6 square unit. Student, option C is correct, remaining options are incorrect. Okay, option C is correct. Student, I think that is simple question. This is the simple question in which you need to know about the slope of tangent, that is basically denoted by dy by dx at x comma fx, that means dy by dx at comma x at point x, it is basically 2x plus 1. And for finding area bounded by the curve, that means we need to calculate first of all curve, and after that need to draw a graph. Then you can calculate easily. The required area is basically 0 to 1, x square plus x, it is basically 5 by 6. Okay student, so our next question is question 22. So in this question there are 25 stations between Howrah and Kharagpur. A train is to stop at 3 stations of these 25 stations. What is the probability that no 2 of these 3 stations are consecutive? That means students, we need to require to find out the probability that these 3 stations are not consecutive. We need to find out the probability that these 3 stations are non-consecutive. So students, first of all, we know very well what is the probability of any event, E. So basically, we know very well what is the probability of any event, E. In this question, basically number of ways of selecting three non-conjugative stations. Non-conjugative stations. Divide by total number of stations. Total number of selections. Total number of total number of ways of selecting three stations. That means, students, these are the number of favorable cases in which three stations are non-conjugative. But these are total number of cases in which three stations are conjugative as well as non-conjugative. That means both in total number of ways. So basically, student, first of all, we need to calculate total number of selection. Total number of selecting. Yeah, that means total number of selection. Selecting three stations. It is basically out of 25. We can write down also out 25 stations. It is basically, we know we can use easily combination rule that out of 25 stations we need to select 3. So it is basically 25C3, and it can be written as 25 into 24 into 23 divided by 3 into 2 into 1. Basically, I am going to solve shortcut. Then 3 8 24, 2 4 times. Basically, student, 25 into 4 100, it will become 2300. These are the total number of selecting 3 station out of 25 station. And we need to calculate number of ways of selecting 3 non-conjugative stations. So basically, student, there is a formula. You know, selecting, there is a formula I am going to write down. Selecting R non-conjugative station, or we can say that non-conjugative items in a row out of n items. It is basically, it can be written as n minus r plus 1 CR. Student, what is the formula? Selecting r non-conjugative items in a row out of n item, it is basically n minus r plus 1 CR ways. Basically, these are the non-conjugative ways. Non-conjugative r items out of n items. And student, you know very well, there is n is 25. That is 25 students, and we need to selecting non-conjugative stations are 3. So basically R is 3 over here. So there is number of favorable cases is number of favorable cases. That means this one, number of ways of selecting 3 non-conjugative stations out of 25. Basically 25 minus 3 plus 1 C3, and it can be written as 23 22 23 C3, and it can be written as 23 22 21 divided by 3 into 2 into 1. Student, you can see it can be cut by 11 and it can be cut by 7. So it can be written as 23 into 77. And student, you can see also it can be written as 23 into 100. I think that is good way. 23 into 100. Okay. So student, we need to find out the probability of no two of these 3 stations are conjugative. 2 of 3 stations are conjugative. Okay. So basically, student, it can be written as number of these cases are 23 into 23 into 77 divided by total number of cases are 23 into 100. So student, 23 is cancelled out by this 23. So basically our final answer is this one, 77 divided by 100. So basically, student, our option B is correct. Remaining options are incorrect. This is a simple question. And behind concept for this question is basically is this one. Selecting of r non-conjugative items in a row out of n items is basically n minus r plus 1 cr ways. Okay, student. So that is 22 question is completed, and our next question is question number 23. In this question, let PQ be a tower with P on the ground. Basically, student, PQ is this one. PQ is a tower on the ground. No, sorry, PQ be a tower with P on the ground. The acute angle of elevation of Q from a point R on the ground. R is basically, student, is this one. And there is an angle of elevation which is on point R, and that is alpha. Basically this is alpha. Okay, such that cos alpha given is this one. Cos alpha is 5 by root 29, and PR, distance between P and R, is basically, student, 200 meter. Okay, and the acute angle of elevation of Q from another point S on the line PR. This is the line PR, and there is a point S, and angle of elevation with Q is angle beta. Okay, student. Okay, with PS is 80. That means, student, the distance between P and S is 80 meter. Then the value of beta. So, student, basically we need to calculate the angle beta in this scenario. Okay, so the complete information is this one and this one. Okay, so, student, basically, you know, this is the distance you already know. If you calculate this one, so by using any trigonometry angle with angle beta, this side and this side, you can easily calculate the angle beta. So, student, basically, if cos alpha is this one, so you need to calculate the value of sin alpha. So, sin alpha is basically, student, you know, okay, don't require to calculate, okay, need to calculate sin alpha. So, basically 1 minus cos square alpha, and it can be written as 1 minus 25 divided by 29. After taking LCM, you got 29 minus 25 divided by 29. So, basically, this is the value of sin square alpha. Okay, so sin square alpha, it will become 4 by 29, and after taking square root, you got sin alpha is basically 2 by square root 29. Okay, and you know value of sin alpha and cos alpha, you can calculate easily tan alpha. Tan alpha, cos, sin upon cos, that is, it is basically, it will becomes 2 by root 29 divided by 5 divided by root 29, and root 29 is cancelled out by this one, so it will becomes 2 by 5. Okay, student, this is the value of tan alpha, and if you wants to find out the value of tan alpha from the triangle PRQ, so in triangle PRQ, value of tan alpha is basically, you know, perpendicular upon base is the 10, so it is equals to PQ divided by PR, and tan alpha, you know, it is 2 by 5 in that scenario, and PQ, we need to calculate PQ divided by PR is basically 200, it is given already given. So, basically PQ is 400 divided by 5, it will becomes 80. So, student, basically PQ is this one, it is 80 meter. Understood? It is 80 meter. So, and you need to calculate the angle beta. Student, you can see that if in a triangle PSQ, in triangle PSQ, what is the value of tan beta? What is the value of tan beta? You know, tan beta is basically perpendicular upon base, so it can be written as PQ upon PS. And you already calculated what is the value of PQ, it is 80, and PS is also given that it is also 80. So it is cancelled out by 80, that is 1. So if tan beta is 1, So you know very well, beta is the angle of triangle. So it is basically, it will become beta is 45. That means pi by 4. What is the value of beta? Student, basically it is pi by 4. So option B is correct. Remaining options are incorrect. It is a simple 10th standard question. Okay, student. So 23 question is over. So our next question, question number 24 is, so student, this is our next question, question 24. Let f is a function from set of real number to set of real number. Be a function defined as fx is 2 minus e to the power x minus 1. Set capital Fx is 0 to x ft dt for x greater than 0. Then pick the correct option. Option A is small fx has local minimum at x equal 1. Option B, small fx has local maximum. So option C, capital Fx has local minimum at x equal 1 plus log e2. D option, fx has no local maximum. So basically student, you need to check local maxima and minima of capital Fx and small fx both. So first of all, I am going to start with small fx. Small fx is 2 times e to the power x minus 1. And you know that for local maxima and minima, you need to calculate the derivative of function. So it is basically become f dash x, derivative of 2 is 0, and this it will become e to the power x minus 1, minus symbol is this one, and the derivative of x minus 1 is basically 1. Okay, and student, you know exponential function is always greater than 0 for all x belongs to set of real number. Okay, and if you applying negative sign symbol, so it will become e to the power x minus 1. After multiplying by negative sign in inequality, inequality remains inequality can change greater than into less than for all x belongs to set of real number. And you know this is our f dash x, f dash x less than 0 for all x belongs to set of real number. And student, you know very well, if derivative of any function which is less than 0 for all x belongs to set of real number, then we can say that our small f fx is decreasing function. Which type of function? It is decreasing function. And students, you know very well, if a function is decreasing like this type, we can say this is a decreasing function. So in that scenario, we can directly say that there is no local maxima and no local minima for all set of real number. Okay, so basically student, you can say that in that scenario fx has no local maxima and no local minima. No local minima. I think you understood. And student, by saying this, that fx has no local maxima, so option B is correct. Okay, but I am going to explain all these option A, C and D. Why A, C and D are incorrect? Option A is incorrect. Fx has local minima. But this statement says that fx has no local maxima or no local minima. Option A is incorrect. And these option C and D, both options are related to capital Fx function. Student, our fx is integration 0 to x small f of t dt. So we know very well our function fx is this one. So we can calculate small f of t is basically 2 minus e to the power t minus 1. So our capital Fx, it will become 0 to x 2 minus e to the power t minus 1 and dt. And student, you know what is Leibniz rule? I am going to explain what is Leibniz rule. Leibniz rule. Student, basically Leibniz rule says that if our function px is basically varying from r of x to q of x, and our function f of t dt. Okay, let us consider small f of. So basically Leibniz rule says that if you take derivative on both sides, it will become p dash x, it is equals to, there are two variables t and x. Student, you can see, and we need to calculate the integration with respect to t variable. So basically student, if you put down basically what is the derivative of this function, it will become, student, put down upper limit in this function f of q of x into derivative of upper limit, that q dash x, minus put down lower limit, it is basically f of r of x, and taking derivative of lower limit, that r dash x. So basically Leibniz rule says that if you take derivative of such type of function, so it will become basically p dash x, f of upper limit, and derivative of upper limit is, it is also multiplied, minus f of lower limit, and it is also multiplied r dash x. So student, I am going to applying Leibniz rule over this situation for finding capital Fx. So basically student, you can see our capital Fx, it is basically equals to, not a capital Fx, it is f dash x, f dash x. So put down upper limit in that scenario, it will become 2 minus e to the power x minus 1, and derivative of upper limit, derivative of x is 1, minus, if you take derivative of lower limit, it is basically become 0. So not required to calculate such. So basically our f dash function is basically, student, you can say that 2 minus x, it is multiplied by 1. So don't require to write down over here. So basically our function capital F dash x, it will become 2 times 2 minus e to the power x minus 1. And you know very well, we need to check that this function is strictly increasing, decreasing, or either it have local maxima or minima. So for such type of scenario, I'm going to calculate critical points and check this function is increasing in which interval this function f capital Fx is increasing or decreasing. So for this one, we need to calculate f dash x, that is equals to 0, 2 minus e to the power x minus 1, it is equals to 0, e to the power x minus 1, it is equals to 2, and e to the power x minus 1, it is basically, student, take both side log with respect to base e, it will become x minus 1 log e2, and value of x in that scenario, it will become 1 plus log e2. Student, this is the point at which the derivative of this function is it equals to 0, and for strictly increasing and decreasing, you need to calculate, calculate, for strictly increasing, function should be greater than 0. So student, basically you can write that this f dash x is basically 2 minus e to the power x minus 1 greater than 0. So it will become e to the power x minus 1 greater than minus 2, and after multiplying, negative sign equality remains interchange, that means greater than change into less than, that is 2, and after taking log with base e, in that scenario base e is greater than 1. So if log with base e, that function is strictly increasing, and in case of increasing function, inequality remains same. So x minus 1 is basically less than log e2, and x is less than 1 plus log e2. So student, we can say that our function fx, capital Fx, is strictly increasing if x is less than 1 plus log e2. So basically let us consider this is our point 1 plus log e2, and if x is less than this point, then function is increasing. So basically student, this one is increasing, and after 1 plus log e2, functions will decreasing. We can calculate. So at x equals to 1 plus log e2, function give local maxima, not a local minima, it will give local maxima. But in this question you can see that fx has local minima at x equal to 1 plus log e2, but it will give local maxima. So option C is incorrect. And this function fx has no local maxima, it gives local maxima at x equals to 1 plus log e2. So this option D is also incorrect. Got it, student? This is the explanation behind this question. I think that is a nice question. That is question 24. So our option B is correct. Small fx has no local maxima, and it is also, we can say that small fx has no local minima also. Okay, student? So our next question, question number 25 is, So student, in this question, let PQR be a triangle with PQ बराबर R. PQ equal R, QRP, RP बराबर RP equals Q, and theta is angle RPQ. If the area of triangle PQR is P square minus bracket Q minus R whole square, then the value of tan theta by 2. Tan theta by 2 is. These are the option 1 by 2, 3 by 4, 5 by 4, 1 by 4. So student, basically, you know, there is a triangle. This is the triangle in which vertices are PQR and PQ is R. Basically, this distance is basically R. RP is Q. R and P is this one. This distance is Q. That means this side is Q. And QR, that is basically P. So basically small p is this one. That is small p. Okay. Let it write down small p. And this is also small p. Okay. Not an issue. P. And then in this question, theta is the angle RPQ. RPQ. That basically theta is this one. Okay. So student, you know very well that area of triangle PQR, if angle is given, then it is basically 1 by 2 times. Angle is this one. So basically multiplying of adjacent side with sine theta. So 1 by 2 QR sine theta is the area of triangle. Let it consider that is equation first. Student, always remember area of triangle PQR if angle is given. So 1 by 2 adjacent sides with respect to angle. Adjacent side 1 by 2 RQ, that means QR sine theta. This is the standard formula of area of triangle. And given that area is given also, that is P square minus Q minus R whole square. And you need to calculate tan theta by 2. So student, it is confirmed that sine theta, we need to applying the half angle formula over here. That sine theta is basically half angle formula is 2 times sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2. Okay, let it hold on. So it is equation second. Okay, student, I think you can see and you know very well that what is the cosine rule. Cosine rule in a triangle. And if you need to calculate the cos theta in that scenario, so you can easily calculate what is the value of cos theta by using cosine rule. Student, cosine rule basically sum of square of adjacent side. If you need to find out the value of cos theta, so you took q square plus r square minus opposite side square divided by 2 times q into r. This is the cosine rule. You can calculate, student. If you need to find out the cos r, so basically student, what is the cos r? So up adjacent side square, that p square plus q square minus opposite side square divided by 2 times p into q. This is the cosine rule. If you need to find out the value of cos q, then p square plus r square minus q square divided by 2 times pr. So not required to calculate cos q and cos r. We need to require cos theta. So cos theta is basically q square plus r square minus p square divided by 2 times qr. So student, in that scenario you can see that that after taking cross multiply, you got q square plus r square minus p square, that is equals to 2 times qr cos theta. Okay. And if you wants to find out the value of p square, so p square take in right hand side and this 2qr cos theta take in left hand side. So it will become p square, that is equals to q square plus r square minus 2 times qr cos theta. Okay. So student, if we applying the value of p square over here, so this area will become, value of p square is this one, that is q square plus r square minus 2 times qr cos theta minus q minus r whole square. Student, expand the formula a minus b whole square, it will become q square plus r square minus 2 times qr cos theta minus times q square plus r square minus 2 times qr. Student, after taking negative inside, it will become minus. It is also become minus, it will become plus. So student, you can see that q square is cancelled out by q square, r square is cancelled out by r square. So area it will become minus 2 times q r cos theta plus 2 times q r. So student, take out 2 times q r common, it will become 1, it will become minus cos theta. This is our required area. But we need to calculate tan theta by 2. So student, you know, from equation first, let us consider this is our equation second, not this one. So compare equation first and second. So 1 by 2 times qr sin theta, that it will be equals to 2 times qr into 1 minus cos theta. Student, you can see qr 1 by 2, it will become sin theta, that is equals to 2 times 1 minus cos theta. Student, you know what is the basically half angle formula of sin theta? So it can be written as 2 times sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. And there is another formula which is 1 minus cos theta. It can be written as 2 times, if there is minus, so sin is 2 times sin square angle half, that means theta by 2. So replace both the value over this and this. So it will become 1 by 2, 2 times sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. And in the same way 2 times 1 minus cos theta, it will become 2 times sin square theta by 2. Student, you can see 2 is cancelled out by this 2. So basically, student, you know very well that theta is the angle of triangle. So theta can never be 0. And if theta is never be 0, so sin theta by 2 is a non-zero quantity. So we can cut sin theta by 2 to sin theta by 2. So this will become cos theta by 2, that is equals to 2 into 2, 4 times sin theta by 2. And you know very well, after taking cos theta by 2 in denominator of sin theta by 2, it will become 1, that is equals to 4 times sin theta by 2 upon cos theta by 2. And 4 is inside, so 1 by 4 is basically sin upon cos tan theta by 2. So student, we need to calculate the value of tan theta by 2. It is basically 1 by 4. So our option D is correct, student. Remaining options are incorrect. Okay, student. So this is a simple question. We need to remember two results. That area of any triangle, if an angle is given, that is 1 by 2. If angle is present is this one, so adjacent side multiplied, then sin theta. And there is a cosine rule that an angle cos theta, that is equals to square of q square plus r square minus q square plus r square minus p square, that is opposite side square, divided by 2 times qr. And then after that solve and using sin theta, half angle formula of sin theta, and 1 minus cos theta. Okay. So this is our final answer. Answer is 1 by 4 and remaining options are incorrect. Student, I think our today's part is completed, and 25 question, all the questions we already discussed in this lecture. So similarly, you get such types of update. So please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.